Hi, this is Tara. Welcome to SkyGazing and welcome to the second episode of The Seekers. My guest today is Cairo Murillo, who's a Brazilian, an Ashtanga yogi, and a senior teacher, as well as a student of Vedanta and of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. So, what is the seekers? So, for centuries, India has attracted seekers, spiritual wanderers, mystics, the curious, the mad, the devoted, maybe even the unbelievers. And occasionally on our paths, we intersect, we are drawn to each other, we look at each other, and in that moment of recognition, we realize that others are also taking the journey that we are on, maybe have the same doubts, harbor the same urges, curiosities, experiences, and we may be each traveling alone, but we travel alone together. This is the basis of the Sangha. So, in this podcast, we're looking at the ways in which people pursue a spiritual practice, what it means to practice. What is this process of seeking? What is it we are each seeking? Is there a definite end? How far have we come, not just in terms of progress, but in terms of journeys we have made? What were our expectations when we began, or the lack of them? Who did we meet on the way? What influenced us? What guided us? What were the misdirections and missteps that we took? What protected us? What haunts us? What are our fears? What are our comforts? What do we give up? What do we gain? How do we find home, in these shalas, in these ashrams, monasteries, dhams of India? How do we meet our guides, mentors, gurus, sanghas? So as we traverse these uncertain grounds, we see a light in someone. Recognize a doubt we have harbored. We find an answer someone else has left for us on the way. And in these episodes, we will recognize, acknowledge, and learn from each other's journeys. So I'm introducing you to Cairo, who is, like all of us, a fellow seeker. This is all we are. It doesn't matter where we were born, who our parents were, which country, which ethnicity, which religion, what is the color of our skin, what else we do in our lives. Because at the end of the day, we are seeking. So though you may know, or think you know a lot of the guests on this podcast, I invite you to drop the assumption of knowledge and to meet people just purely in their seeking. So today, let's go meet Cairo Murillo. Hi, this is Tara. Welcome to SkyGazing. This is the second episode of The Seekers, the new podcast that looks into people on their spiritual paths, on their yoga paths, practitioners from all walks of life from across the world. Today, my guest is a very special friend, Cairo Murillo, from Parabrava, Brazil. He is a senior Ashtanga yogi and a teacher. And in fact, Cairo is the reason why I decided to start this podcast, because I find his journey so inspiring. Cairo has been traveling to India since the age of 27. He has great experience with masters of all kinds. And he's a sadhaka. He is a seeker. So today I just wanted you guys to meet Cairo and to hear his story from him.
Okay, namaste, Hari Om. It's a pleasure to be here and to share these stories and maybe inspire as much as I've been inspired from stories of other people's that time before.
You're not new to India. You're not new to this journey of seeking. So can you tell us where it began for you?
Yeah, what I can recall my involvement with Indian culture. It goes back from, I think I was around 7 or 8 years that I was in my aunt's house listening to some old vinyl discs that she had, and there was this Hare Krishna mantra, Haribo, 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 and that really clinked into my mind for a few years. But later on, after a lot of religious experiences that going in church here and there, and some studyings of already philosophy and sociology at school. By the moment I got into Buddhist book, that was around 15 maybe.
Okay.
And then that's where I really started digging into this more Eastern culture, and yoga came a little bit later.
Okay.
And but uh, with some previous experience into yoga before that, and it really stick when I was around 19. That's when I started yoga.
Okay.
And it was very markable because I was already going for this spiritual religious in Brazil that is called spiritism, which they do something that looks like Reiki or something like that. Some hand impositions that, and
like with the shamans and stuff.
yeah, something like that. It's like
okay.
a Brazilian mix religious with Catholicism and
Okay, like indigenous Brazilian culture.
no, this is not indigenous. No,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
This is modern
Okay.
than in the natives.
Mhm.
But I went to Ashtanga class on the first day, and I really left that day feeling the same feelings that I used to feel when I used to go in these meetings of this religion. And I said, I found something that makes sense for my life, and I just felt good, and just I
So it
haven't
was
dropped
instant.
since.
It was like love at first sight.
Yeah, actually, I was already seeking and searching in books, reading a book from Hermogenes. It's a Brazilian former yoga teacher that really developed Hatha Yoga in Brazil.
Mhm.
And I had a book of him, and I kept reading for a couple of 6 months, I don't know, and
Mhm.
started doing some things here and there, and really liking all these other things. But I was traveling by the time, and when I got home back,
Mhm.
when I got back home, just my neighbor opened up a shala just in front of my house.
Okay.
So I just started, and just everything just went in this direction.
That's amazing. So the first thing is that you've been seeking since the age of 7.
I wouldn't say since the age of 7. I was listening to something like
It
some
was
mantra,
sparking
and
something.
something got it. Oh, I like that, and sometimes, but it wasn't near my culture, or nobody around would, when I was around 11, I think my dad did a yoga class at home, and I
Mhm.
tried to be involved. But kids 11 years old, you don't hold a position, and if the teacher doesn't have the ability to deal with kids,
Yeah.
you won't stay in the class. So this was my first experience with yoga properly. But then around 16, again, my mom invited because she was already practicing something.
Mhm.
And I did, oh, this is nice, but kind of too much mysticism, man. I didn't feel like all of that. And when I got into this first Ashtanga yoga class, it was just like, whoa, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of like, it's like you recognize the truth when you see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's
I think
the
that can
truth.
be
The
truth for
truth for
you.
me. Yeah, yeah,
Truth
yeah.
for
The
you.
truth for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt just like, okay, this is nice. I think I will like that. And then I just kept going every day, twice a day, sometimes.
I find that so fascinating because two things. One is I think in India we take a lot of our culture for granted. Like we have yoga classes at every corner. Somebody in the family is always practicing something or the other. Some spiritual practice is normal, even if so. You have the choice, I think, especially for younger people today, to say, I believe in it or I don't believe in it. I like it, I don't like it, but it's accessible. For especially for our viewers who don't know, your town is not like a main city where this kind of stuff would be available everywhere.
No, my city, you guys will consider it really small. We have like 120,000 people in the city, and I live just between two small cities. One that has 120, and the other one 180.
Okay.
So it's not like we're saying about talking about 400 people in two cities. 400,000 people in 2 cities is not a lot, especially in
Yeah.
Indian standards. And, uh, but this city where I live is called Balneário Camboriú. I live in Itajaí. That's the other one. Living between both of them. Balneário Camboriú is a very touristic city,
Okay.
and spite of being small, it concentrates people from different places. And yoga used to be used to have a big group, a big sangha of yoga in that place of Ashtanga. When I don't know, around the 90s, when Ashtanga started to pick in, like the first wave of Ashtanga in the world. This city was already like 100 students in
Wow.
one unique school.
Okay.
So yeah,
was really
so
big.
yeah, there was already. So my neighbor and my friend, and who was my first teacher, they were like maybe second generation of students of Ashtanga from
okay.
from the first one who took Ashtanga to Brazil seriously. So kind of these second, third generation of teachers over there, like so. But it wasn't that easy to find.
Yeah, you had to also, just in terms of physically and financially, to travel every time. We're currently in Mysore. We're speaking in Mysore, where he's here for to study Mysore style Ashtanga and to practice. We are both students at Sharat Joyce Yoga Center, and we miss our guru very, very much currently. But it's also that travel to come here is good. More than 18 hours, I think.
This time it took me around 30 hours to come
Wow.
to arrive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of fast.
Yeah. And so that's like a huge commitment to make year after year to pursue your training, And I remember you once telling me that the nearest place you could travel to attend a class was, I think, in the next major city, which was
around 100 kilometers. Yeah, up south. Yeah, because down south. In Mysore style, there's nobody teaching Mysore style from where I live. So I used if I wanted to have a teacher, I have to drive or do it online.
Okay.
And online it didn't really catch me for practicing. And then I start searching teachers here and there, and I found about Matthew Vollmer, who is a senior teacher from England, but from Patagones. And he's the one who organized the Ashtanga in Brazil and teacher of many in Brazil. And I went to his workshop for a month, and that was my first proper introduction to Ashtanga. Otherwise, I was just doing guided classes, or doing by my own.
What is that process of seeking and searching for you? Because when it's not easily accessible, especially, do you take it more seriously? Are there times where doubt starts to creep in, like why am I taking so much trouble? I can just, because you're not from, like, that's not your culture, as you said. You're from a Catholic background.
Catholic, yeah.
So is this kind of like understood at home? Do you have to fight for it? Do you feel hurt?
Well, when I started yoga, it wasn't that fashion. No, it is. But I was already digging, in different religions, different views. I had a bad relation with Catholicism since childhood. My father had a different opinion from my mother's family, which is Catholic. So I never got baptized when I was a baby. When I was around 4, my grandma wanted me to get baptized. I don't know if I can tell that, but okay, I'll tell it anyway. So I went to this main church in the city where my grandma, in the same street my grandma used to live, and I went to be baptized, and the guy came with the water, and to make the cross, and I didn't let him to baptize me. I split in his face. This was my introduction to
So you had like a
Catholic.
severe rejection.
Yeah, I had some rejection over there, and I'll tell you something more about this priest. So so I had this hard direction, and I don't know why. I was 4 years old. I can't remember if my father said some, probably not. He wouldn't say something like that, but this was just came up like a kid, spontaneously, like a kid, you know. And later on, my grandma tried again to do all those next steps, and I didn't follow through. And my father is a history teacher. Okay. So I started studying history, and since you started studying history, you start hating some things, know. So I was pretty sure that Catholic wasn't my thing. So I started searching other things. Brazil is very big on this is evangelic, so it is very big there in Brazil, but it was never my thing as well. And I started liking this spiritism, Allan Kardec spiritism. I started liking and going, and it started feeling good, and some things. And but then I started yoga, and this was like a big thing, like big changing. And the first year that I started practicing yoga, I had this class on Advaita Vedanta. And actually, this was the thing, like, okay, wow, what is this? I want to learn more about this. I was already in college. I said, no college, no biology. I was taking biology to learn more about life. That was my intention, not to be a biologist, but just to learn about life by bios. And so when I got this in this, I think it was Ramayana or Mahabharata, the first. I think it was Ramayana, the first story that I've heard from Gloria Ariera. And it was just like, wow, what is this? I want to learn more. That's what I want to study. That's what I want to know. This resonates in me. I already thought about that, It's like, oh, it's my future. Oh, where does it come from? And I started digging on that, and that was my turning point.
And you have gone on to study considerable amounts of Vedanta, right? You've traveled to Rishikesh. So yoga is one part of your journey, but Vedanta itself. And I would like to tell you, I think he's far more educated and studied in Vedanta than even somebody like me who studied philosophy in college. Simply because he's put in so many years of seeking, and it's when I look at you, I really understand what is tapasya. Because you've got to make a commitment, you've got to follow it up, you've got to find your teachers, you've got to travel, you've got to sit there and listen, and you've got to find the guru that sort of works for you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, things were coming, and I never really dig it too much or had to go out to find, because things were coming on my way, and I was just like, oh, yeah, okay, and I just kept going with the flow. So I was in this pursuit. I was living in California, and I tried to go to 2 different schools there, and it happened. It was Monday, and it was closed, and there was no class, and I couldn't, learn anything, and I didn't come back anyway. So the day before I was going back home to Brazil, I met a friend in the bus, casualty, a friend of this neighbor. Oh, I know you. Those coincidental meetings that happen. And okay, nice. You're going back tomorrow. Nice. Oh, your brother Figgy is opening up a yoga school just in front of the house. I said, no way. I was just here like 6 months in California searching for yoga, and I mean, not 6 months searching, because working life.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find some yoga, and then I found my neighbor, and we became friends. And he was already studying with Pedro Kupfer, which is the Hatha Yoga teacher, and Gloria Vieira is this Vedanta teacher in Brazil. So things came naturally. Oh, we want to study more. We have this teacher. Look, and we became close friends, and more than just student and teacher relationship. We got in this friendship for a long time, and studying together, going for these teachers together, and Gloria Riera was already a disciple from the Swami Dayananda, just as Pedro Kupfer. And we were studying with Swami Dayananda's sometimes audios and books and readings.
There is no Indian compassion. There is no American compassion. It transcends nation, gender, age.
And that pretty much made a lot of sense, I never really got into this, I want to find a guru or something like, but I'd like to meet, somebody that has this, like
true knowledge.
Yeah, true knowledge. And I really felt like something with Swami Dayananda. It was like his teaching, the way he teaches, or his clarity. I really could grasp into something more,
Whole Vedanta I can unfold through the word padartha. That's enough. The one single word is enough to talk about everything.
It was it. We decided to go to India, to come to India in 2012 for the first time, and we stayed in Dayananda Ashram for a month, taking the camps, and it was very transformative, very
So yeah, I can
such a thing, and the whole India experience, it's a lot, I have never been so far, and so different culture, and it was very shocking, but at the same time it was just like it's a very welcoming place for foreigners, and Rishikesh is very used with foreigners, so I felt really welcome. And in Dayananda Ashram we had a lot of freedom, I would say, to adapt with the culture, because it's a shock, especially for a Brazilian coastal guy, that's from the beach in small town. This is very, very, very different from,
Yeah, it's a
so
long way.
yeah.
In Swami Dayananda's teachings, what were, because there's also this idea of materialism that is very Western, and which is very natural to most people in the West, and individually. It's so different, not just physically, materially, food, environment, but also just the way of seeing the world and yourself. Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Western culture is very individualistic. It's very material. It's about being successful is going up in life and gathering material things. So what in Swami Dayananda Saraswati's philosophy, and his teaching of Vedanta, what is it that sort of resonated with you?
It's very pleasant to listen that you are the whole. I think this is, and if you're ready to recognize it, and you feel it, you want to understand why you're feeling that way, why you feel this way sometimes, and why you don't feel that way most of the time. In all the other states, the self will be confused with the troubling mind. Yeah. So whenever you, and I have never listened to somebody saying something like that. I mean, I've heard from Pedro and from Gloria, but I wanted the source. I wanted the main source. And the first thing that Swami Dayananda said when we were all there the first day of the class, I said, "Oh, you guys are all here again, huh? Why? Didn't I explain you clearly?"
On the first day of
On the
class.
first thing he
Wow.
said, "Oh, maybe you guys like my jokes. That's why you are here again, huh?" And that's something that like, okay, he's like a stand-up comedy guy, like always making jokes and making easy because it's well, but Advaita Vedanta is not an easy topic. I
Yeah.
used to say like, oh, we were there in Rishikesh and going places and where are you guys studying? Oh, Swami Dayananda. Oh, this is tough. Even a lot of people. Oh, this is too much. We've heard a lot of these, and it's just like I don't know if you're saying it, you just like. But Swami Dayananda really made it clear. We could. Oh, I can remember a lot of class that we were there and just like crying, like
Wow.
listening, just like keep listening and keep crying, just like so beautiful. And I don't know, just like cat really got me, into this. And I'm talking about freedom. I was young, and all the youngsters we strive with this freedom thing. What is freedom? I want my freedom, and he was talking about the real freedom. What is freedom, and what to be free of, and what is attachment, or what is not attached. And so it was all just like, hey, what is this? It looks something very weird, but I feel like I resonate. I feel like I, I can I can say that I understand, but I feel like I understand, but I want to understand. I don't understand, but I want to understand, and that's why I kept coming. And Swami, in the first year, he was a little bit sick already, and he wasn't. That's what the older the students say. He wasn't that much sharp, and the first year was just like, wow. And
He just blew your mind.
just blew my mind. And I was with this friend, Figgy, who's my first teacher as well, and he's blind. And I was helping him with the things, and also with translation. So it really got me into like I don't know. I was able to translate Swami's Dayananda class like fully and live. So that really like, how can I be able to do that? Like what's the thing? I can understand what he's saying. Like, and then I need to go back again. And then the second year I came, 2013. This year from Dayananda was very sharp, and that year was just like, really into it. And there wasn't many people studying Vedanta by the time, and there was Gloria teaching for since 86, but just a few now. Vedanta in Brazil is something bigger. There's a lot of teachers, and good teachers, bad teachers. Gloria is still there, and a lot of students. But I wanted to learn more, and then I came in 2014. He was already sick. He didn't give the camp, so I could escape for a week and come to Coimbatore in Anikati's ashram and stayed for a week with him. And that year, I think I really got into this guru shishya. I really could bow and understand and surrender in that year. See, I come from a scientific background, history teacher, father.
You're a
Catholic.
scientist yourself, right?
Yeah, I have a biology degree.
Yeah.
So all of these that I truly now understand and respect, and I think it's beautiful. This devotion for a guru, for a person. But this is, like you're saying, this is not common on Western. You have this very individualized view, and to bow to someone, uh, even for with the elders, I think some respect is being lost in newer generations, and it was a little bit of, okay, let me see this makes sense, but well, let me see, and
The
on this
resistance.
some resistance of the ego. And then on this third year, really got me, and I felt like, okay, I'm blessed to be able to study and being here with him. And I did another year, the last year of Sundayananda camp, and yeah, that was it. And it was just like 4 years traveling to India in a row, and it really changed my view of life. Like a lot of things. Like pursuits, what I wanted, and just like living a life.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's not easy. I mean, I know you say it so easily, but you live in a culture which values the opposite. And I'm not even just saying the West, even in India today, you don't have the
Yeah,
house, the designation, the job, like people know you by how much money you make. And people also think, okay, like yoga and all is fine, just exercise and whatever. But as a spiritual pursuit, it's like, oh, you should be scientific, this all mumbo jumbo, and why do you believe in all this? So it's not just the West, right? It's everywhere we go. The world is increasingly material.
Oh yeah.
Something a friend of mine said to me, I think she was Spanish. I met her. She's a friend from my Buddhist Sangha. So she said to me something very interesting. She said, the causes and conditions of samsara will rise endlessly in the world, but the causes and conditions for liberation rise very rarely.
Yeah.
So if you get it, you shouldn't let it go.
Yeah. It for me, it was something like this. I started listening to Gloria, and especially from Gloria, but reading and getting to that, and it's just like felt good. And then I've heard about it, and as Krishna says, you never lose it. When you start this pursuit, you don't lose it. So when you have you're gonna come back with a proper life to go for it. And I started looking into my life, and I said, I have some backgrounds that I can rely on. It's not too much, but if I, manage here and there, and okay, I'll have some stability. I'm enjoying life. I think I know, at least I try to do the right things. So I think this kind of moksha is for me. I think I can pursue this. So it was like a decision that I made. Like, okay, what if I go for it? This yoga life. I was about to graduate in biology, and I was already working on with my teachers, and really heading for a master degree. Like I have the door opens to work and to go for a master. And this was the year that I came to India first time. I had to make a decision. Come to India to study from there, and
because you got the option to join the camp.
Yeah, because my friends were coming that year, and we were like, okay, we're going another 2 friends with our teacher coming, giving us all the tips, everything we needed to be stable in India. This is very a valuable thing, like, because if you know nothing about India and you just stop here and just like, oh my God, Mara, may help me,
Yeah.
if you don't, even if you have it, sometimes it's just like, I need to, because it's very different. Like it's my sixth time here, and I really love, but it's still sometimes I have I just go home, relax a little bit. Tomorrow I'll be okay. I know.
Yeah, there is chaos.
So I just started to just seeing things like, oh man, the path is already coming. It's opening up. This path is opening. I don't have to force. I don't have to push. I don't want to be like my college teachers that always running busy and giving so many classes and here and there, and it's just like yoga. It's already happening. I was already teaching, and this makes sense. I feel like I can. I feel like I want, and I feel like I understand. Like it makes some arrangement here inside. So I just decided, and it was.
So you actually had to choose between giving your biology masters.
Yeah, it was. I had the opportunity to go for it and to open up the door, or to keep on yoga. Okay. So I decided the yoga.
You decided yoga.
Yeah,
and that's that's quite a choice to make.
It was.
Because looking back, do you understand the purpose of that choice? Does it feel like this was meant to be?
It was my own my own search, more than searching for a profession. This was a choice of personal pursuit, because I could go for biology and make a master, and I don't know, I could be teaching in a college, or I could be working on other stuffs, but I really felt like I needed to study more about this. I really wanted that. I was seeking that, trying to understand myself, trying to understand the world, and accommodate everything. I think most of the teenagers have this suffering for nothing and rebellious spirit. I had a lot, and I couldn't conform with society, and not the way it was, especially there. And it used to look like, okay, I have to graduate, marry, work, retire, and die. That's it, life. No, just make a short trip. So so there was a mindset, okay,
there's something wrong with this other
part.
part.
There's something wrong with this, and then this whole yoga path came up, and that's something that make me value more life, being alive, and loving the life, or at least trying to create the life that I love. Yeah,
that's amazing. Can I ask, and if it's very private to you, it's okay to not, or to give only as much as you want to. What are your spiritual practices as of today?
Well, I do have some rituals that I like asana practice. I do like it to do it, but I've been doing 6 times sometimes. No, I've been doing 6 times for a while, but usually it's not like that. Ashtanga came back into my life a few years ago, but I used to have a very hatha yoga practice with waking up, doing some kriyas, some meditation, pranayama, some asana practice that will keep up with my day. My asana practice were very focused on surfing and teaching. So and it was pretty much a routine, and especially in teaching. When you're teaching, sometimes just that's your practice.
That itself becomes like a
that's become the practice, like teaching, go up, waking up early and getting ready and teaching. Sometimes with daily life, you don't have time for self practice. And you have to just here and there something, kid. When you have kids, you have a shorter time, shorter day. But right now it consists on it consists on some morning reflections, and sometimes lighting up a candle and incense. Sometimes it's just looking at it and reminding, you know, and doing my asana practice, doing some pranayama that I depend on. If I do some, more than another, and but I think basically what really helps is just like when I wake up and I just try to remember, and bring all this knowledge that I've been seeking, and I try to, okay, that's it. And whatever I do, I try to put that, putting that.
So it's kind of like you have to live in samsara while there is this inside you, there is this other seeking and the quest and the practice that is ongoing.
Yeah, that's how Krishna teach us karma yoga. We have two lifestyles of life in this pursuit. One is sannyasi, and the other one is karma yoga. So doing the things with devotion, I think, and it's pretty tough. It's very easy just to retreat in a mountain, in a second beach, and just being there alone, away from society, and just relax and meditate, and do the daily things. It's very easy. Yeah, I think when we begin this pursuit and studying, we tend to see these as the path. Like, just like Krishna, we went to escape from the fight, and it's that's what one of the most difficult teachings from Swami Dayananda. Like, go back to the life, live the life as a sannyasi.
Wow, that's very tough.
Yeah.
That's almost cruel.
Uh,
You understand what I'm saying? Like, because especially when you have the taste for moksha, and then your guru tells you go back and live in life as a sannyasi, is that like really hard?
Yeah, it is. It's
Very
like,
hard lesson.
yeah, it is like, okay, but I think this is tough because you have to adjust society, and be in society without without being there. Uh, we become a denier of this reality that everybody's living, but you're there just like maybe a role, playing a role, and that's but you're not the play, you're the actor, so and then really felt like, okay, this is tough, but I think this is it, because it will be easy. It's so easy when you go on vacation. It's just like easy, and well, I've been trying to live this life of a little bit less, and doing and with my trips and surf trips as well, but enjoying life and building this mojo, building this thing that we can go back and leave. But I think that's the exercise, and it's been tough. It's not easy, and I, I don't know if I passed this test yet.
Do you feel like a monk inside? Do you feel like a sannyasi or yogi?
I used to relate a lot with the sadhus here, and even even back home when I was younger, I used to relate a lot with these hippie people that used to just travel around and selling things. I used to like that, like just like, but not seeing that with my for my life for myself, but really it's another life, you know. And when I first got in India, I met real sadhus in Rishikesh, like from Jamil Cave. Some people might know about them, and this Baba really feel amazing, feel true to me, you know. And we've been there a couple of times, and yeah, there was another options over there also, as well. And but I used to like to live a lot of the life that I had back home as well. You know, like this kind of samsari life, partying, enjoying life a little bit. With, you know, like we used to joke like we walk on the sun and we walk on the shadow as well. And so we don't get so much tan.
So you have to balance both.
I have to balance. I always balance a little bit both. You know, like enjoying life a little bit and being this samsari life and playing with a little bit this, but always seeking since the 20s. You know, always seeking this and like, okay, one day we go party, and then the rest of the week we quiet, meditating and relaxing, studying and, you know, practicing. But one day we just go and
So
party.
both,
Yeah.
balance.
So I felt like this is not for me. You know, like this very rigid life for to renunciate for all of that. And also I felt like I had some responsibilities back with my family, and then my daughter came up as well, and then things but I do relate. Like I feel good when I'm around some sadhus, or I just when I see, and I just have much respect.
The thing that most people who sort of are drawn to Indian culture or philosophy or Hindu philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, have a problem with is rebirth,
Rebirth.
reincarnation,
Oh,
next
okay.
life. You know, how has that sort of
Yeah. This for me wasn't that tough, like something like just that I shocked with, because in this spiritism from Allan Kardec that I was studying just before getting to yoga, this is a theme that they go along with. They do believe in reincarnation, so that makes sense for me. You know, by already made sense for me by that time. So when I got into this, okay, this makes sense. And now, some days I used to say something like, "We're not considering it. We're not talking about it. Let's not talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it still works. But if you want to talk about that, it's okay. Our culture, our Vedas talk about that." But so he didn't bring that into Vedanta, especially when with the foreigners too. You know, so this doesn't come like talking, but I do feel like everybody feel like, oh, it's had been somewhere else, or like feel home. Like it's amazing how I feel home back in India when I first came here, and just like, okay, I just feel so good, like being here. And it is a shock for everybody that comes here, but it wasn't that much, like I could understand, like, and feel it, and yeah, just.
I think I've joked with you before that I think you're Hindu in your past life. You've been.
My astrologer said something like that as well. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think it's more that if you feel it, then you kind of get it.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you why I'm also asking. Because when you're studying Hindu philosophy or Indian philosophy, if you fundamentally don't believe in rebirth, then all those principles of karma, everything falls apart.
Yeah, it can fall apart, but especially to when you ask why I was given this life, and somebody in Palestine was given, or in Africa, or was given that life, or we don't need to go that far. We all have we're all from South world. We have poverty and misery just outside of our houses,
Yeah.
and so why, why was I had this life and somebody had a different life. And, it do helps to accommodate a little bit, I think. uh, in some terms, it might sound a little uh,
Convenient.
convenient, because we have some privileges that people don't have it, and now
Correct.
okay,
Your
you
karma is bad, my
yeah,
karma is
yeah,
good.
but
Okay. So you're somebody who's also very conscious of spiritual egotism.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That's beautiful. What to you is seeking, and what like advice or would you give, or tips would you give to somebody who is also seeking? Or maybe like you new to India or the culture.
Uh, well, I took it very slow. I really felt this, like, okay, this is something that is touching me. For the first time, something touched me really deep, and I really wanted more of it, but I don't. But I didn't went all the way, just like, oh, this is my new life, and
Yeah.
wow, change it. Like it was gradually transforming, and I was uh, giving one step forward and maybe holding the second one just to see how it feels. And so, oh, the path was already opening. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would walk a little bit more, and but be aware of what resonates with you. I think this is it. And I'm not saying this is the in yoga or some anything.
Yeah.
You just be aware of on what really resonates with you inside, with you, not what your father, mother, or society tells, or anybody tells it, but what really feels with you, and just go and try it, different until you find something. But when you find something that makes sense, sticking to it,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're gonna get loose,
Yeah.
like here and there, and you are like a spiritual shopper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
then
that
you go
happens a
here
lot
and there, and
also.
no,
Yeah.
and then you mix it up and you create a new thing, uh,
And then you're confused, and then you feel it's
and you
nothing is
never
working for you.
gonna find it, but keep on searching, and be aware. There's a lot of bypass. There's a lot of bad intentions in this spirituality. It makes a lot of money, uh, and about spirituality, I think nature always gave me, this spirituality relationship, especially with surfing. I grew up surfing and with this surf culture, and this relationship to some kind of some form, some aspect of the nature. And,
That's very grounding.
that's very grounding, and you see. For me, this background of on science also made a lot of sense, because it has to make sense for you. It can be something from outer space that wow, shining, and rainbows, and I'm seeing things, and no, and from then on, I always used to say that it has to resonate with you. You have to have some good relation, and give a try, at least give a try and see how it feels. uh, I used to go through some classes in biology, and having some like workshops on the weekend, and just like themes like that could just different ways, but sometimes it's from my little perspective and what I've been reading, I think science is still didn't is getting there. It's getting there. I think they're coming, especially this few years back. And it's
The
just
study
strength
of
and just
consciousness
just
and everything.
grew, you know. And so it's, I think it's they're gonna walk closer paths again.
Ultimately, the paths will converge.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so, because if you truly understand, like if you truly see it, and if you're truly open to see it the way that it is explained in like, you're gonna see it's a science. You're gonna see it's real, you
Because
know.
it's so systematic. Even Ashtanga, so systematic. So
Yeah. It's well, I think Ashtanga. Uh, let's talk about a little bit of Ashtanga. You know,
yeah.
I don't think it's like the sequence is so old, like, but it came from this source, the same soup. You know, it is something very traditionally rooted. Maybe Patabi developed something greater than he was thought, you know, but it has its roots in the tradition, you know, and it works. I feel wow.
There's something about it that it changes who you are once you start practicing,
Yeah.
and it brings up something from deep from the unconscious. Starts releasing something in you.
Yeah, I started with Ashtanga the first couple of years, and then I moved to Vinyasa Hatha Yoga, really deep into Hatha Yoga. We all, you know, used to study a lot of old texts and practices and mudras, meditations, and into Vedanta. And then I got into Ashtanga again, you know, back in this time when I came back, I came with some understanding that this practice works like catalysis for all of that, for all the things, you know. And um, if you do it properly, I mean, respecting ahimsa at first, because people can get hurt if the ego takes away, you know. I've got hurt a little, well, back there when I first began. Uh, but if you take it slow, as it is, with a proper teacher, with the proper way, uh, it just opens up like so much, and it really, for me, really helped me to incorporate more this understanding of Dvaita Vedanta. It's helped me to cross the bridge from here to here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a tool to make clear the vision of where to cross or how to cross it.
Wow. And when you say ahimsa, you also mean the violence against your own body.
Yeah. That's I think that's the most where the Ashtangis get it wrong, and like pushing
And the
until we get.
competitiveness comes
Oh
in.
yeah. That's the mind. The
Next asana, next asana,
next asana, and perfect alignment, perfect catching, and then there's this and that. And, because from from what I learned, especially Hatha Yoga, was this theme. You know, like you have to respect yourself firstly. You cannot push. You cannot take from your body's a pose that he's not open to give you. So you have to open up slowly. So and this consistency you have on Ashtanga practice, you know, if you respect and stop, maybe you have to stop in the day, the next day you go further, and the next you go a little bit less, and then you go further. And this consistency really helped to open up and change a lot of things that I was not struggling, or because I was even aware of things, you know, when with the Ashtanga daily routine, it just came clear for me.
And like one of the criticisms of Ashtanga is, oh, you people just do the same thing every single day. But so especially since you're a teacher, how does that help?
Well, I used to think the opposite. I used to think that I'm not the same every day, so the same practice won't fit for me every day.
Okay.
And I really had a lot of effort creating different sequences for every day. But since repetition gives you perfection, and this is true, like you have to repeat. How many times you have to repeat? How many times our parents repeat that we have to brush our teeth every day?
Yeah.
So
And
we
then it
learn.
becomes-
Yeah.
But
So
also, does it if you do the same thing every day, then you can compare to the previous times you've done it.
yeah, there is this too, but I think yeah, it works as a comparison of from where you began, but it's not linear. This growth is not linear because sometimes when in one day you just flow in and the practice is beautiful, and the other day you're stiff and nothing works. So it's not linear. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. It depends on how you. So this is a parameter to compare, like, okay, what I did yesterday, what is working, what is not working, how is it working, no, this is working, I can keep on, this is helping me, oh, this is not helping, this is making me bad, like it's not just because I can't catch a pose. Okay, I can catch a pose because I'm feeling heavy in my stomach. I have something that I didn't digest well, or I didn't sleep well. That's why I'm tired. So because why? So you become to understand a little bit more about how things interact with your body mind. So you become more aware of what to choose.
Yeah.
So this the repetition will give you this mirror easier. That's what I feel now. Like
That's beautifully said. That's
yeah.
beautifully said. Because then you're saying, okay, because of my actions yesterday or my choices yesterday, it had this result, and because of that result, this is so you're understanding yourself at a very, very micro level, and
Yeah.
you're connecting that cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Even though we don't know entirely if it is the correct cause
Yeah.
or effect, but what they call mindfulness in some way, you apply to yourself more because you want that asana to move or to be able to move in that asana. Certainly.
Yeah, you want to be comfortable doing the asanas. That's the goal. Stiram Sukham. Yeah, you want to be comfortable, like stable. And if you're not finding that stability, that a little bit comfort in the pose, why? What's happening? Why yesterday was and today is not? So you start thinking, you start looking, and it makes easier. Like you can adapt and the way and getting there, or you can just wait there and see that today, no, not today.
So it basically becomes this instrument of self-inquiry
Yeah.
and self-observation.
Self-observation. Yeah, it's this repetition gives you a lot of this self-inquiry, self-mirror observation. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. And that's it.
Do you measure progress? Are you like when you think of the future in terms because Swami Dayananda Saraswati isn't there, and now we've just lost Sharad Joyce, and there is this whole ecosystem of gurus that seems to be so. It's not just about the person, though the person was very important. It's also about that the body of knowledge that was accessible to us is becoming less and less available. So when you think of the future in terms of learning and teaching, what is it that comes to mind for you?
Wow. Well, such a great loss, Sharad. I was really willing to get to know him, and I was about to be in the season. I had a confirmation to start with him, and I was really seeking that because nobody was holding a position as him. Like so many students so many time with so much strength and respect, and we see that when you get into the shala, you feel that it's not a sect. It's not just like people blindly following somebody. You feel the respect.
Yeah.
And I really felt like when I got here the first time last year, and I said, "Whoa, it's interesting. I want to try that," And especially after his passage, like we listened so much stories, and I said, "Whoa,
Yeah.
I think I lost something, that I really would like to know." But at the same time, I see this knowledge so spread out, like he planted the seeds in so many soils. There are so many trees flourishing all over the world. There's so
Wow.
many good teachers all around, like that really are touched by him, and they will follow up, I think. Just the same as Swami Dayananda, when he passed, there was nobody like, oh, this guy will assume. There was none. Just like, even though Swami Dayananda was already in old age and in severe ill when he passed, but there was nobody like, okay, he's the substitute. There wasn't. And there was many. Now there are many, and they had some time to adjust, I think. And I'm really willing to go back to Rishikesh this time to go to the ashram, because I haven't been since 2015. But I know from friends that things are very well there. There's a lot of good teachers.
Okay.
That was they were all inspired and learned from Swami Dayananda. Just the same, I think, that will flourish here of Sharaja is, and there's so many good teachers, and I've been meeting so many nice people that really will carry on that for sure.
I get what you're saying. So they come in, they spread the teaching,
Yeah.
and the teaching survives. The people,
Yeah, the teaching survives. Yeah.
And it lives on in practitioners.
It lives on. Yeah. Because when teaching the Han diet, I heard that from Matthew Vomer, my teacher, and he said that now there's no guru. The Sangha is the guru.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said.
Yeah, the Sangha is the guru, So he brought so many people together.
Yeah.
He made so many people getting to know each other. People were getting related because of they met here in the Shala. And so I think he, more than the teachings of how to do it or the next pose or how to catch, how to adjust, I think this union that the community is very strong. That's what I felt when I came to Ashtanga. Oh, this is a big family. It's a big community, and that's what. This is nice, because sometimes we Hatha Yoga people just like, well, each one is on its cave, It's here. Everyone is on each cave, and with the Ashtanga, it's like a big family all over the world. Like people come here to Mysore, and you can meet people from all over, and then we all get along, and are in a bar, in a cafe, talking, and it becomes more like a family. So I think this union must go on.
So that's beautifully said. The Sangha is the guru.
Yeah.
Which is also the point of this podcast, that even when we are in different parts of the world, we sort of learn from each other's stories. And thank you so much, Cairo, for sharing your story.
Thank you
all
for
of us today.
listening.
And I personally find you very, very inspiring. And
thank you.
I wish you all the best for your journey.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Adios.